Congratulations, you've reached the conclusion of the course. In this lesson, we'll spend some time reflecting on what we learned within the course, and we will discuss where to go from here. First, let's review the key takeaways from this course. Spring Boot is a powerful framework that makes building Spring projects incredibly easy. In the past, you needed to have a moderate understanding of the Spring Framework's configuration in order to be successful. As you've seen, Spring Boot has completely eliminated this learning curve, using starter palms and auto configuration to perform this work on behalf of the developer. It has never been easier to download STS and start building Spring applications. I expect this new approach within Spring to propel even greater adoption of the framework and further embed the library as the go-to choice for Java developers. For almost the entire Spring portfolio, Spring Boot provides these efficiencies. The startup cost has been extremely reduced for exploring a new module under the Spring umbrella. Spring Boot has essentially unlocked the door for developers to explore the entire portfolio. It's now much easier to take a look at a new module, evaluate it, and then incorporate it into your project. In the same way that Spring has opened the gates to the different modules within the framework, it has also unlocked the third party libraries that we integrate with. We've seen support for things such as Hibernate, Redis, MongoDB, and EHCache. We find the support for these frameworks within Spring Boot, and as new technologies arise, they will also find their place within Spring Boot's integration support. So, when you know and understand Spring Boot, it's much easier to start adopting third party libraries supported by Spring Boot. So, Spring Boot really acts as a bridge to other technologies and other modules within the Spring portfolio. Aside from these benefits, Spring also provides a new set of tools that aid developers. Within this toolbox, developers will find support for features such as restarts, logging, and diagnostics. Boot furthers Spring's mission to make the developer's life easier. In the future, additional modules will be added to Spring Boot. Using the concepts taught in this course, you should be prepared to interact with those modules to quickly get started using new technologies. Many modules will follow similar application patterns that we saw within our lessons. So it's been a great course, but what's next? Well, the first thing, and this is something I always advocate for, is go out and apply the lessons of this course. And how do you do that? You write code. Write code in your own projects, write code at work, write code in your dreams. It's the best way to apply new concepts, new techniques that you have learned, and it's the best way to further your career. Always be writing code. Another recommendation I have is to go out and actually research some of the traditional Spring configuration. If you're not familiar with some of the older forms of configuring Spring, such as XML or Java configuration, this will really demonstrate to you what Spring Boot is doing on your behalf. And then ultimately, when you do hit that snag, you will have a better chance of debugging inside the framework, understanding what's going on, and resolving your problem without consuming a lot of time. The final recommendation I have is for you to continue expanding your skill set. Continuous education and continuous learning are huge in the developer field. We are getting new things thrown at us all the time, and you got to keep up with them or else you're going to fall behind. So I would recommend looking at areas such as aspect-oriented programming with Spring, maybe looking at Spring Social or Timeleaf, or if you want to go more advanced, look at something like a bytecode manipulation framework. These are all areas that I feel are well worth your time as a Java developer. Finally, I'd like to say thank you for taking this course. And I'd also like to commend you for continuing to explore within the new technology space. It's a great area to learn, a great area to develop your career, and you're doing yourself a great service by exploring, learning more, Even if you don't directly use this information, it will be beneficial to you in the future if it's not only to apply the concepts. I'd also like to thank you because I really enjoy making these courses and they really provide me with an area of personal growth. And without you, this would not be possible. So thank you very much.